Only one M4 is salvaged by 10s. Other than that, it's just pistols for Cloud9.
They need to win this for almost getting caught. Is he going to expect the second flank, though? That's the big question. Time is going to be running out very soon, and actually he falls down to the low ground. Automatic, not with an easy fight. Tens has gone down, and yeah, the disaster, it happened. They stole the AWP, they split the point. It ends at 15-15. I can't believe that that is all it took. Mixwell with a nice triple in that round.
As a challenger brand, I'm always looking for these opportunities to stand apart, to be first at something different and new. I think it's only a matter of time that every brand gets involved is the bottom line. So I'm not naive to think that we can own it, but we are able to get first mover advantage in that we announced the first signature sneaker for an esports team. It's too big and growing too fast to be ignored. And whilst I think a lot of brands are sleeping at the moment, it's only a matter of time before they wake up.
My name's Christopher Adams, but hailing from Indiana, everyone just coined the term indie for me. It really even begins before sketching or the concept even begins. So we really look at the market and we try to see kind of what we would call a gap in the market or a space for us to create something that isn't there.
So I'm Santi. I worked here for a little bit over a year now. I work as Global Art Director. First off, we had an idea that before we get anything done, the Valiant was going to playoffs, and we weren't going to do an official, shoe to sell with Valiant. But because we're actually big fans, we've watched every game and we really care. We figured it would be nice to just gift them a pair. So we took a shoe we had, reskinned it, put everybody's names on it, put the Valiant colors on it, and sent them the shoes. After that, we got the Immortal shoe done, just again as a gift to everybody in the organization, as a thank you, and really show them that, hey, you now have a shoe sponsor. So during this time, we've also been working on what a professional performance gaming shoe looks like. What Barney always says is that, well, we don't know. No one knows because it doesn't exist.
My name is Minjung Kim. Everybody call me MJ. So my current job here at K-Swiss is a footwear designer. He told me, what do you think about designing an esports shoe? And I was like, yes, I would love to do that. But I was a little bit overwhelmed in a good way, I would say, because there's no such a thing as an e-gaming sports, shoe. And then I really didn't know where to start from.
So it was actually an interesting thought study at the beginning when we first started. What is a performance gaming shoe, and what could we possibly hope to achieve with it? Not only a personal point of view, but a brand perspective. We wanted to make sure that it wasn't K-Swiss just walking in, making a shoe and putting a logo on it and calling it a performance esports shoe. We wanted to do exactly the opposite and start from the ground up, hear from the players, because that's the only way we felt we can come to the table with a credible, authentic product that could possibly enhance the performance of these players. Our initial ideas or ideation before we met the players kind of went down the path of RGB, or how do we make it flashy, or kind of tied in with the parallels that all the players are used to competing with. And that was just outsider perspective, I would say. We
sent MJ Kim, our performance designer, because he works with tennis performance shoes. He would know how to really research it.
You need a shoe that you can hold the whole day?
This session is just for me to gather information, to kind of know about the industry and your insights and needs. So just anything that pops out, you can tell me, and it will definitely help me to understand, designing the shoe for you guys. Okay, so first thing that I learned is they don't want any distraction, or they want everything to work on their way, meaning they either don't care anything about it or they want everything to work around them. The second thing that I learned is whatever that I come up with shouldn't be the one that may cause some kind of situation during the time of the game. it was very, very hard to find like one specific need that everybody wants. What if I design a shoe or create a product for them that will never cause any kind of problem for, and then also actually support them and help them in a way that they can't even notice. The third thing that I found is they actually care about how they look on the stage. It's just my misconception that I had before about the gamers, that they really don't care how they look. But what they told me is once they put on their uniform or once they enter the arena, that's when their mode changes. That's when they actually start care about the way they look once they put on their uniform. Now I'm representing the team and the game that they are playing for as a professional. So I wanted to create a product that also can help them to focus and start to concentrate on their mode transition to become the perfect professional gamers.
Where the inspiration comes from, I know that it's specifically what we saw on the campus, what the players told us. I really think that it will be something that will actually be exactly what they wanted.
One of the things we like to do here is just let the designers go after that initial kind of ideation session, working with athletes in this case.
That's when I start putting thoughts into the paper, meaning I start from like brainstorming what could be the ideas that could help, starting from how can I make the shoes so comfortable and lightweight, but also like how can I make a footwear that work just like a slides that they wear all the time. Or how can I make sure that the shoe allows for enough airflow to keep their shoe, the foot dry and clean, and also warm if they needed to. And also how can I create a visual that actually would represent the gamer team that I'm designing for. And I spend next 2-3 weeks start sketching and developing the ideas and refining the concept.
Footwear is one of the most difficult things to produce when you're actually talking about the production line. Take the cell phone in your pocket. You probably have one in your pocket right now. Although the upfront design and development of each internal piece, the software behind it is very difficult, once it comes time to production, everything's laid out. It's a giant jigsaw puzzle and everything plugs together. It's very convenient in that way. Now when you think about footwear, there's easily more than 200 people touching each individual shoe, the shoes you're wearing right now. Each part of that shoe is done by a different person, whether it be the stripes on the side, adhering the outsole, even lacing the shoe is a different person. And people, as you imagine, have emotions. They have good days and they have bad days. And so when you think about 200 people touching your shoe, one of them could have had a fight with their loved one the night before and they're not in such a great mood today. And now they're responsible for attaching the bottom of your shoe to the top of your shoe. There could be an issue. And so normally within the industry, we give room for tolerances. And in something such as footwear, depending on the piece of the footwear, generally the tolerance is 1 to 2 millimeters, which isn't a lot, truth be told, but when you start adding up millimeters on different parts when they come together, you can see the differences between each and every individual shoe, almost to the point where they become fingerprints. Every single one is unique. Every stitch could be, even a computer stitch isn't 100% identical every single time.
I start looking at the upper part of it, the midsole part of it, and the outsole part of it. My first challenge in terms of the upper is how can I create an upper that has enough of airflow. So then I ended up positioning the vamp poles not only from the top front side, which is called vamp, also from the quarter area, which is the side of the shoe. That's why I decided to use this technique called the engineered textile, the knit machine.
So just kind of as I was describing, 200 people touching on average a shoe, let's say, a lot of those people are usually involved in the construction of the upper. Stitching panels on, making sure everything lines up. Whereas the benefit of an engineered knit or flat knit upper is that a computer program lays it out and will make it close to identical every time. And the benefit there is it saves a lot of manual labor. The disadvantage is those machines are extremely expensive. A very expensive machinery, when you multiply it by 100, ends up being almost close to $500 million in one factory in Vietnam. On top of that, before this machine can even get started, they need a knitting technician to program the machine how it's going to actually make all these patterns that you see on the shoe. This may sound simple until you see the actual program they use. Each individual thread is on a different carrier, they call them. This designer or engineer literally has to tell the machine, pass this knit through this hole, okay, now grab this one and pass that through, and multiply that by literally over 1 million different passes. So development time just to engineer how this is going to come out usually takes up to a month. It's really a labor-intensive process.
You know, normally a lot of shoes use what we call the EVA, but there are different kinds of EVA and there are different ways of making it. Normally the EVA is not durable enough for exposed to the bottom area, so that's when normally people put a rubber where it touches the ground. For me, the good thing about rubber is definitely protecting the bottom, but also bad thing about it is it's adding the weight. So for me, the gamers, although I wanted the shoe for everyday purposes, I also care about being a lightweight. So I ended up just using the EVA that is durable enough to be exposed from the bottom standpoint. Normally the midsoles are functioning only as the cushioning unit, but I thought that could be another way. There's an opportunity where I can let that area also have some kind of airflow. So I ended up carving out a lot of the midsole area where normally it doesn't touch the ground, and leave him exposed from the upper standpoint, and adding the ventilation panel so that also from the bottom standpoint there will be an air that can come in and out. You know, as I mentioned earlier, when I first meet the gamers, I saw their everyday life, and they told me 99% of their life they wear slides, meaning I asked them why do you guys wear slides? Because it's easy to put on, it's very comfortable, and I don't want anything to bother. I don't want to worry about what I wear. My challenge was like, yes, I can't control what they wear when they practice or during normal days, but I wish this shoe to also work for every aspect of their life. So what if I design a sneaker, good-looking sneaker that can also work as the slip-on or slide-like function? So that's why I was able to design the back piece with a really comfortable padding in it that can also collapse in a way like a slip-on, so that people can their foot entry will be so much easy, but also functioning as the locking device when it's put it back, so that it also look like a completed sneaker when they want to really wear it like a sneaker.
Our head of design here, Brian, and even oh, sorry that I'm laughing. One of my good friends, Wallace, would always say these are mini works of art. There's passion behind them. It's not just, again, to go back to the mobile device in your pocket. Of course, the designers are passionate about it, but again, they're cookie cutter. Each one's the same. And how often do they come out with new ones? Whereas footwear, I mean, multiple new styles a season throughout the year. Multiply that by all the brands. These are all little trophy pieces, little capsules of someone's heart, if you will, combined with what they see that a consumer needs, and it's very personal, if you will, on a lot of different levels.